Hello, my little shit stains and shit weasels. I'm not sure just like what crowd I'm going to be showing this video to. Definitely at least to OnlyFlows subscribers. But this might also go on my YouTube channel, which some of you may not know I have. It's been pretty crazy that people who have signed up and are active subscribers of OnlyFlows actually don't even know that I'm a YouTuber. But anywho, long story long, I wanted to say thank you for using OnlyFlows, whether you love it, you hate it, whatever. I know it's a big pain in the ass for everybody, including me, not only as a user of it, but as a developer. And there's kind of a little silver lining there, which is if I am a user of it and I also am a developer of it, it's a pretty natural kind of feedback loop for me to fix things that as a user I see as footholds. So anywho, long story long, these are some features that I have just pushed out that are now live, and kind of like a sneak peek as to what's going to be coming out in the very near future. This is just quality of life and user experience polishes. This is nowhere near the caliber of what is to come. This is more than just a flow application. This is more than just a way to view options and dark pool data, albeit there's a caveat to that dark pool data part. There isn't really a in-depth way that you can really interact with the data, and that's changing within the next 24 hours. But in the meantime, it's definitely been a pretty wild journey, and what this is going to be is completely outside of what anyone could ever think of. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I'm glad that I can actually make a video like this where I can kind of show something off. There was never really an intent to release this in such a shitty shape. It's been frustrating because when you're this early in the development phase, you have cash burn fighting you, and then you also have your own internal critique, if you will. Or criticist, criticizer, what the fuck, I don't know what that word is. But long story long, it's been very challenging because there are times where there's a new feature that I develop, it's groundbreaking, or it's something that like I know everybody's gonna love, and then I go to deploy it, and now just for some reason it doesn't work because it's in a different environment. For anyone that's not a developer, when I'm making OnlyFlows, I have my own little isolated instance of the app on my own machine that I make changes to, and then when I'm satisfied with those changes, I send them out into the wild, and you find them on onlyflows.app. There were a lot of instances of this where there's a new feature, I push it, and now it doesn't work, or I push it, it works, but it's missing something. And, you know, unfortunately, the next kind of big iteration of that is I push it, and then you guys find a way to break it, which is actually not a bad thing. If anything, it's really appreciated, no matter what kind of feedback it is, whether you're nice or mean about it. I need that feedback. I've kind of become desensitized in a way as a user's perspective, because I'm constantly in the code of this instead of in the application of it. But to kind of reiterate, there's a lot of awesome things that are coming, and this is kind of a sneak peek. I would also like to announce that our load times and our instability, if you will, is completely gone, completely fixed. For anyone that's interested in the technical details, we've been doing a lot of caching, which, as you can understand, if you kind of have a background in all of this, there's a lot of data going on, there's a lot of relational data going on, and one of the footholds to that is when you have that volume of data, it becomes very unwieldy, and so then you try to scale vertically, which is where you get more servers, or you get more powerful servers, and you can only do that so much. Eventually, there's a sobering reality that you have to accept, which is the application itself maybe is not optimized, or is not written well enough to even scale, which is a really kind of hard critique to address as a developer. So the stack, aka the whole setup, if you will, programmatically speaking, has been shifted a little bit, and now we are in a more stable engine, so to speak. And as far as caching goes, we actually don't really do any caching now. Surprisingly, the issue that we had was related to caching, when in reality the issue we were trying to fix, the solution was supposed to be caching. And so all of that has been changed and revamped and refactored, and that is no longer an issue. If the site is ever down, it is because we didn't pay our server bill, which shouldn't be an issue. But second, it's normally because I've pushed an update, and during that, for maybe the next 2 or 4 weeks as I write it, that will be a thing where update goes out and then the site's going to slow down for about 10 seconds. And then after that, it's going to not respond. It just won't load. And then after 5 to 10 seconds of that, the site will then load and everything will be new and fresh and dandy. Yeah, so all of that out of the way, I have one last thing to say, which is thank you to everybody who, whether you're paying for it or not, or you canceled your subscription, or you're an avid user and you're paying $70 a month for what is at best, at least up until now, was at best, a closed alpha kind of. Again, between the crashing, the god-awful slow load times, the kind of irrational placement of certain, features, and, why does this work and this doesn't, and when I click this doesn't, like all of that, no matter who you are, I have to say thank you, because you've made all of this possible, and we're finally at a point where I think I can say we're off the ground, and this isn't even close to what this is going to be. This is going to be so much more than just flow. So if anyone ever has any questions or feedback, or if you're just angry, okay, if you're mad, shoot me a message. I will. I don't care how mad you are, I will take a call with you on Discord. I will read your email. I will read your Discord message, whatever it is, and take it, because at the end of the day, this is a service, and if you're paying for it, you deserve what you expect to pay for. So, again, to anyone who has stuck through all of this with us thus far, especially with the load times and all this stupid shit, thank you. So let's get on with the coolness. So we got a couple things. Pausing flow. This is the smallest, I think, out of all the new things. Pausing flow. It sounds minute. It doesn't really sound like a big deal, but unfortunately the market is closed right now, so I don't think I have a way to demonstrate this. So I'll just reference another video through post editing. But one of the problems that you have is when you're trying to look at the incoming trades, but with the when you're looking for context with them, when you have things happening throughout the day, especially when volatility kicks up, these trades are flying by the second. I mean, it's like every couple hundred milliseconds, it's another 20 trades, and that means that whatever you were looking at is now off the screen because it's on a different page. And I ran into this as an issue, and it kind of just clicked rather intuitively, but I couldn't believe I didn't think of it before. So one of the things that we have now is this customized flow module. And this will be kind of a motif here. If you see this button, it's going to mean you can customize the module that it's attached to. So if I click this, we have this new checkbox, and it's called Pause Live Flow when hovering over table. Self-explanatory. When you have that checked, it will pause the flow whenever you're hovering over something. In other words, if you're trying to go to the ticker that you saw for a big trade where it's highlighted in yellow, whatever it is, like, you can actually just hover over the table, and you can see in the top left over here that it's currently live, but when I hover over it, it's paused. So then I can go to that trade, I can view it, I can do that intuitive mouse movement where I'm just kind of scanning through it, and I can build that context. And that segues into our next feature, which is a pretty big one. This is the new options contract viewer, explorer. I'm not sure what I want to coin it as just yet, but this is an awesome feature that still has a lot more to be added to it. It's also worth noting that we updated our filters a little bit. There's a lot more coming. Someone earlier mentioned an expiration filter, and I was like, I cannot believe we don't have that yet. It exists in the back end. If you are an engineer or a hacker, you can actually specify a header, and you can filter by expiration, but the front end doesn't have it yet. So that's coming out within the next 24 hours. But we updated this so it's cleaner, less abrasive. You get more screen real estate because you don't have a giant filters thing over here. Quality of life. It's the little things that matter. So, but you can go to any trade you see. Eventually, I'm adding a little search bar at the top so you can jump between things easier. So now I can view this Tesla trade. Someone bought $1.8 million in just out of the money puts, and now I can click into it, and here's the data, and there's that massive spike in purchasing volume. You can click these to hide them or reveal them. And then you can also modify the interval and the date range. So maybe I want to see this for the past couple months. Here it is. A lot of these were being sold going into the rally recently that Tesla had. And then just as of recent, you can see today that there was a massive purchasing of them. So that's a pretty bearish, indication. If I want to change the interval, I'm gonna set this back to today. And then I can change this to the 1 minute. Just kidding. Maybe that's a new bug. Oh, there we go. I'll set it to the 1 hour just to get my point across. But here it is on the hourly. And I will add the price chart as another line that you can view just for reference. But pretty crazy timing as far as the market goes. And as a little sneak peek, I'm not going to formally introduce this feature, but just as a little teaser, you can now see that I can close this and then reopen it within close proximity. We'll put it that way. And finally, the last thing I really want to put some attention towards, I think my favorite part about developing OnlyFlows thus far is that the things that I'm getting out there, no one else has done, and this is not like a one-off theme. This will be recurring for the next foreseeable amount of years. Words, you gotta love them. This the things that I'm coming up with, and that the team are also coming up with. We are not going to be a one-off, one-trick pony. This will be a very unique experience, so much so that I'm comfortable releasing features one by one, in spite of competitors, copying them, because there is no limit to the supply of unique features that we have and will have. So that brings us into optics. Optics are a really cool thing. The problem with filters is that they literally filter. If I want to see all the trades that are $250,000 in premium or higher, the problem I'm going to run into is that there are trades less than $250,000 that still have a lot of context to them that I can use to understand what the market is trying to do. And that's a problem, because if I don't see those lesser trades, I'm going to get a very, biased view, so to speak, because there might be a retailer who knows the direction and puts up, 15,000 into a trade. That 15,000 can stand out more depending on the trade, than something with $250,000 to it, because that's typically just an institution. It might be a dealer, it might be a market maker. You never know. So how do we fix this, right? How do I still see that guy putting up 15,000 while also seeing things that are more than 250,000? Obviously, that 250,000 number is important. So I don't just want to one-off it. I don't want to see it or not see it. So here's the solution. We have the opposite of filters. This is what we call optics. So with optics, you can create an inverse filter, so to speak. So I'll make this 15K. Anything greater than or equal to 15,000. If you want it to be accessed by the community, you can toggle this public toggler. And now I get to select what color I want the row, that trade, to appear as. So maybe I want all of those trades that are 15,000 or more to be, or no, we should make this 250,000. That would be the better example. Anything more than 250,000. We'll make this, we'll do violet. Violet's a pretty cool looking one. And then I'm going to click add new condition, and these are all sequential. So if you have more than one condition, for the trade to be put into an Optic, it has to meet all of these conditions that you add. And if you add one by mistake, you can just click that button. And now I'm going to say that anywhere that net premium is greater than or equal to 250,000. I think I have that. Yep. Greater than or equal to 250,000. We're going to highlight that in violet. And I'm going to click save. And then I'm going to refresh. That's a little bug. It should automatically add that to the list. But now when I click our customize flow module button, I can go to this right here that says greater than or equal to 250,000. And when I click it, now anything that is more than $250,000 is going to be highlighted in violet. And so no matter where I'm at, no matter what I'm doing, if there's something that comes across with that value, it can now be highlighted in whatever color I choose. And as most traders are, you build like a dictionary of tools and pieces of data and whatnot that you can associate quickly. So maybe violet is your go-to for that mental intuition of that's a trade that stands out. You can change the color however you please. And my favorite part is that maybe we want to more than greater than or equal to 250,000 and above the ask, right? So and AA. And maybe we're going to make this we'll do this in emerald. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the net premium greater than or equal to 250,000. And now we run into a problem. How are we supposed to know if it's greater than or equal to the ask? We can only put in, whatever value it is. Not really. This is actually just a really bad UI design. I can go to this and I can say that the price of the trade, if that price is greater than or equal to, right, the ask. So I can actually take any of these options and supply them as text, and OnlyFlows will automatically parse that out, and now you're able to compare column to column instead of column to fixed value. We're going to add some formulas to this later on too. That's not too far down the road. So maybe ask divided by 2 or something, whatever you want to do. But yeah, in the meantime, it's a bad UI design. This should also be a checkbox, or you can select if you want it to be an open value. But in the meantime, if you want to compare columns, just type in the column name that you want to compare. So now anything that is greater than or equal to $250,000, where the price of the trade is greater than or equal to the ask, right? That means we're hitting at the ask or greater. We're going to highlight that in emerald. Now I'm going to save that, refresh, and then I'm going to highlight 250K and at the ask. And now anything that meets that criteria will be highlighted in emerald, and that's what we see here. 2.3 million, greater than or equal to 250,000, and the price of the trade was executed at the ask. So a really neat feature that seems pretty small, but this is, this is how you make the data yours. This is how you make the platform yours. This is how you actually enjoy using our platform and our data and making it your own while creating your own edge. We're not trying to limit you from data. We're not trying to baby you with all the data that there is in the options world. But the least we can do, and what we want to do, is give you the tools that other people don't, and give you the controls and the freedom and the expression that other platforms don't. And so that's what we've done here. And of course, any trade that comes in and hits the tape will also be thrown into the optics. So if a new trade came in and it met our criteria, that would be highlighted in emerald. So that kind of wraps it up here. I will be making more videos like this in the very near future. Thank you again for everyone for being a part of this and using it. And literally everything you say is read by me and the team, and it's recognized. We don't hide from things. We don't hide from critical feedback, or constructive criticism, or just outright anger. I don't do that, and neither will anyone that works for OnlyFlows. So we see everything, and with that in mind, please keep telling us things. Tell us how you feel. Tell us what you like, what you don't like, what would be cool. What if it was this? What if it was that? Or if that did this, and maybe this, interacted. Just tell us. Hit us with it. We're all about it. So thank you again, and see you guys in the very near future.